Hey, I'm back with another video, and I have something I want to talk about today. It has to do with atheism and the right side of politics. First, I want to say down below, I'll have pinned in the comment section of YouTube. I'm going to have my socials, alt tech, all that put down there if you want to check them out. Of course, this is just the beginning of the channel, but nonetheless, I want to go ahead and get into talking about this. This topic particularly is kind of important to me as I find myself a center right leaning libertarian with Christian values, but I happen to be an atheist. I don't believe in God. But the thing is I'm not a militant atheist. I'm fully aware that there are militant atheists out there, and they're a bunch of they're retarded. All right, I'm just gonna put it that way. I used to be a militant atheist when I was a young teenager. Like I was just spiteful and mad and hateful and all that. And it didn't stem from me just being a crappy person at the time. It also stemmed from really crappy older generation conservatives that treated me and my family with disdain because I was an atheist. Like my family was heavily religious, and they would get shit on for having an atheist kid, and that's Oklahoma for you. You kind of get what I mean. And so I find it to be a weird predicament. Like it's a dilemma because the left has lost their fucking mind. The left has gone full totalitarian, authoritarian. They're kind of reverting their narrative back a little bit because now most people realize they're fucking crazy, and liars and propagandists and shills and just a bunch of fucking deluded people. But like my issues with the right stem solely on the religious part because these staunch conservative types they attack the left because the left attacks them, right? Of course, the left is trying to oppress their religious rights, the rights of conservatives, and many other rights as well, including freedom of speech, which also has to do with religious freedom, and of course the Second Amendment, which is also equally as important as well. They're trying to get rid of that. And you can't sit there and complain about that, but then attack an atheist who is just an atheist, and you don't want them to have that right. So you're saying you're for constitutional values, but not for people you don't agree with, which is exactly what the radical left is pretty much fucking doing. It's like the different sides of the same coin, but not necessarily. I know I'm generalizing here, of course, and I hope you do too. I grew up with a very conservative family. My family's pretty okay, but I don't think they're too bad. They have some flaws in their like ideology and actions and all that, but they're human. I have flaws. You probably have flaws. If you don't, then wow, right? Wow, congratulations, you fucking did it. No one's been able to do it, but I just find it's hard because I know for a fact, like one of my dreams down the road is I would love to try and run as a representative. I feel like being a libertarian, being a center right leaning libertarian, and an atheist, I feel like we get underrepresented within the party. The left represents it very well, but the left is also a bunch of crazy authoritarians. I'm not going to support that at all. But it's like we need some form of actual representation for people like me, and you kind of get what I mean, to bridge a gap in the party because you're going to have atheists in the right, in the Republican and conservative party that have your values, agree with you, and the only difference is they just don't believe in God. That's the only thing, and there's no reason to mistrust them for it. It should be their actions that cause mistrust, not belief. It's it's weird. It's hypocritical and it's also a dilemma, but I fully acknowledge that the right is pretty much where I'm gonna stay until the left reforms, which who knows if that's ever gonna happen. But all I'm gonna say is it's America first. I'm an American, and we take care of our own. The left has lost their mind. They're not taking care of their own. They're eating their own, and they're attacking everybody else. And the right has the only seeming sense to care for their own, but they still have certain groups of people they ostracize and hate. And I just wish we could kind of change that. And with the younger generations coming in, especially the conservative types and Republican types, I notice it here in Oklahoma. I'm a part of that generation. They tend to be still religious and pretty staunch in their beliefs, but they're more open minded than the older generations. They're more willing to talk. They're more willing to share their ideas. And you know what? I respect it. Because I would rather sit down with someone who believes in God and talk to them about God and religion and life and perspective than to sit down with an older generation conservative and be lectured about how I'm going to burn in hell and how I'm a soulless piece of shit and a godless heathen. You kind of get what I mean? That's not progress. That's fucking regression. That's the exact thing we're seeing with the left. It's just fucking regression. They're not making progress, even though they're progressive. It's not progress. It's regressive. I just wish humans could learn to love more than hate. And I say that in a sense of I'm not trying to preach because we all have groups of people we kind of hold some disdain for, or loathing for, or we're just like, like everybody has someone or something they don't like, and everyone has something that they do like. You know what I mean? It's the beauty of humanity. It's also a double-edged sword. But it's a little confusing. It's a dilemma. I just wanted to speak my mind. I'm not a militant atheist, and if anybody here is an atheist and you're quite militant on it, I would just try and reflect a little bit. Because yes, there are some religious people out there that are going to dehumanize you and look at you like you're the fucking devil, even though you just sit there minding your own business. You know what I mean? But at the same time, not every religious person's that way either. Like respect, you gotta respect people. If you are militant and you go up to a religious person you don't even know and you're just like, oh, scoff on them and look down on them, yeah, they're gonna treat you like shit because you just fucking disrespected them. It's the same as if a religious person came up to you as an atheist and disrespected you, and so you're just like, yo, what the hell? You kind of get what I mean? It's not just one or the other. There's two things at play, and people just need to learn to just settle and be like, hey, I have biases and beliefs, and this person does too. But if we could just be friendly to each other, then hey, there's at least a win-win. Not everybody's going to be a hostile encounter. This ain't the insect world where every single insect, another bug that comes across, it's either run for your life or get eaten. You know what I mean? It's not like that unless you're in the radical left. But and I would suggest doing running away for your life if you're in the radical left, because there won't be many survivors if they ever get what they want per se. But that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. Just get something off my mind, share my thoughts. Maybe some of you can relate to them. Maybe some of you are an atheist and understand where I'm coming from, whether you be left leaning or right leaning. Some of you might be religious and just want to understand a perspective of a non militant atheist. But that's all. I'm gonna stop talking your ear off, and yeah, peace.